we're going to listen Fran.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, after Jay, it's always a high responsibility to say anything because his deep knowledge about what he says is a challenge for me. So, but I will have to start with someone which is more known than Jay and myself, with Albert Einstein, saying that in crisis, Albert Einstein says that in crisis time, imagination is much more important than knowledge. And yeah, who has the imagination? Imagination is one of the three key elements that we define for innovation. The first is curiosity, the second is imagination, and the third is creativity. Without these three elements, it's impossible to innovate. In fact, I think personally that it's impossible to be happy. And not only happy people is able to innovate. But right now, Jay mentions that crisis, pandemics, crisis affect to anyone. Nobody can say that it's not being affected in one or another way. But companies affect more negatively to companies that they are already sick, they are weak. They were already not doing the right things. Maybe doing things right, but not the right things. And one of the more common sickness in organizations is to don't know which is our culture. Because culture determines the results. So results are the consequence of our culture. If we have a culture focused on accounting, well, we cannot imagine new worlds, because in a spreadsheet it's not possible to fit a new world. It's not possible to fit creativity. But in this time of crisis, many things around you and inside your organization are changing. Because your culture will determine if the changes are a threat or could be opportunities. So open-minded cultures are getting better opportunities than pyramidal or hierarchical cultures. So in this, but so we have to see in this crisis moments, where are the opportunities? Because change is opportunity. Change create new environments. Change create new places to offer more value. In the past, in the period in between crises, we could manage data to create scenarios about the near future. In fact, already in 2019 or 2018 was not very useful to think in 3 years ahead. But we create scenarios for the near future with the hope we will match. But in crisis time, there is a lot of uncertainty and ambiguity. And there is very, very hard to define the scenarios. So imagine if you postpone one face-to-face event in the other part of the world. So you are organizing an event with your customers, with your suppliers, with your colleagues. You are creating an event, preparing an event in the other part of the world. So it's necessary to travel. And because the pandemic, you have to move it to another date. To which data do you postpone it? Because we are in times of uncertainty. And it is impossible to have data about when and in which format would be possible to travel and meet with the people. In this time of uncertainty, we have to focus to the left part of the brain. So in this time of at the beginning, to focus on treasury, but we have to impulse the right part of the brain, because we need the creative logic. We have to impulse the interactive logic and creativity strategies to discover new data. Because logics and strategy that are focused into the future need generate new data, because all the data we have is about the past. We have no data about the future. So we have to increase activities, experimentation, curiosity, imagination to generate new data, because the world is changing, and to get profit about these changes. So we have to use less the predictive logic, which is on the left part of the brain. So we have to use the creative part, the interactive part, and use less the left part. The left part is very, very important for the short period of time to generate productivity from what we know. But we need the right part of the brain, as Jay mentioned, to generate new opportunities, because the world is changing and is generating these opportunities, and we can observe the trends. And then in this point, culture becomes more and more important, because as Jay mentioned, it's the only one thing from your strategy and from your inside organization that the competence cannot copy. So knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and areas of improvement in your culture is critical in this time more, to avoid the famous phrase from Peter Drucker that culture eats strategy for breakfast. That we use this phrase in a wide range, saying that culture eats any change for breakfast. So any organization has a culture. It doesn't matter if the members of this organization wants to have one or not, they have it. And doesn't care, this organization has culture if the members know about the organization or not. So, but that is the key. The key point is, in fact, one organization has not only one culture. In fact, has several cultures inside one: fiscal, legal, human resources, production, logistics, IT. All of these departments, they have different cultures inside one large culture. And to know all these cultures and to know how they evolve is very, very important along the time. That is why time to time we make a body check to know if we are fine, we are healthy, how are we evolving with the age. It's the same in the culture of the organizations. If we don't have snapshots, it's very, very difficult to make decisions. And today I would love to show you and share with you the new module of InnoQuotient, which is evolution. We are doing this presentation already several times with customers, partners, and this time with you. Thank you for being here. And allow me to share with you the screen and jump into the InnoQuotient. This module is already available. So if you connect with your user and password, if you did the survey in the past, you have this service already on. Let's jump into the InnoQuotient. This is the login screen, as you know already. We will share this video and we will share the user and password as usual with all of you so that you can navigate with this demo organization. And of course, if you did the survey, you can navigate through your own data. When you jump into the InnoQuotient, I will navigate through this organization, this very original demo organization that we set up for these events. And if you have any question, as Luz Angela mentioned, if you have any question about what I am presenting, how to analyze, etc., please just at the end, we reserve some minutes to exchange feedback each other and answer all your questions. And you can chat, or later on you can activate your microphone and we can interact live. Okay, so this Demo IQ company did the survey 3 times along the time. So in 2018, in 19, and this year in May. They are based in Ireland, and they are around 138, and they are growing slightly along the time. But anyway, we will jump. You can choose in this screen, you can choose if you want to analyze 2020 or 2019 and compare with the others. By default, the normal way is to jump into the last edition, because you want to compare what is your today's situation and compare with the past situation. And depending which were the actions that you did in between, you can modify your next action plans, or you can slightly modify your forecast. This presentation I will do for you is based that I am reporting to the CEO of the organization. I have a PowerPoint ready, and I will prepare the presentation thinking on 2 topics. How is evolving our culture, and which are the 2 suggestions I do to the CEO, to the board, for the next 2 actions, next steps, okay? So you can see how easy it is to navigate and compare and extract conclusions. Let's jump into the new environment. As you know from the past, all the left is the navigations tool is here, and you can see here a new module, which is the evolution module. You see, we have here, and we keep the structure, and as in the previous modules, you can see here is the statistical validation, and here you have the innovation culture index, which is the ICI. So that is what we know already, every one of us, and we know from since many, many years already, not in this format, but is along the time is or this InnoQuotient brain is very, very popular. And if I go to the evolution, I can see that the navigation tool is exactly the same. So global, which is the entire data, and I can see them by departments, by categories, and the rest of metadata too, by the age, gender, etc., etc. And I can go to the global tables and compare between editions about in global charts or by metadata. And always you will have here on the top the dates of the assessment you are comparing with. So I am comparing all the data from this recent assessment with the edition of from 2019, but I could jump into the 2018. By default, it's showing me always the last edition. So if I comparing the 2020, it will show me here by default the previous edition. But if I would click to the 2019 here, okay, it will show me the 2018 here. So I can choose any time. So in 2020, this is the edition, and I can compare. I will press F11 to show full screen. And you can see here the comparisons. So we have a slightly higher participation, not so high, but higher. In fact, they participate more, the same people, but there were 2 less, so we increase the percentage of participation. And the error of margin is still very fine, it's below 5, okay? So, but what about the departments? That is a very, very powerful tool. As you can see, you will see always on the right, the reference survey. So on the right is the survey I choose to be my reference data. And on the left part, you will see always the survey, the edition I choose for the comparison. So if I go here 2018, it will recalculate, okay? Several companies, they have 7, 8, 9 editions done, so they will have more power to compare, okay? So as we can see here, we can compare, and in any case, I can choose, as you know, I can focus with the data I am analyzing, and of course, always I can download a GPG or PNG to create my own data. I download this one. So, and I will include later on my presentation. Here is, for example, and I can say insert images, archivo. Oops. Choop, 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 choop. I can go here and I say, let's go. There we go. Okay. I can navigate here and I choose the images I want to manage. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Participants, I can see here the departments and I can compare here, but I could compare if the departments are equal in all editions. By default is aligning the departments, but I could want to choose, oops, sorry. I could choose the customer service and compare with logistics from this one is from 2019 and this one is from the 2020 edition. Maybe I want to, it's interesting for me because I redefine the department or whatever I want. So I have the flexibility to choose on the left side and on the right side, which are the departments I want to choose, okay? To compare, or all and all. Okay, but the most very nice for me is categories and rest of the metadata. I can compare here also, and I can see that the evolution, so people is becoming older, and here is a movement from the age of the employees, and I can see all the evolution, what is going on. Or I can go to the, oops, there we go. I can compare by the innovation culture index. I can see it in tables format. I can see the elements, the factors, or the blocks. But I choose always elements because the elements is the action items. So I can define actions just based on elements. It's not possible to define, or not very efficient to define actions based on factors or blocks. Okay, and I can see here the evolution of the data along the 54 elements. So always you will have, always without almost exception, I will say always without exception, you will see always that some elements evolve in positive, on other one evolve in negative. So they go backwards. So usually if you focus in emotional, so on the right part of the brain, action items, the 27 action items of the right part, you will see that many times on the rational part, on the left part of the brain, the punctuation goes worse because they discover they don't need it. So they say, okay, no problem, okay? So in fact, we recommend always and more in crisis time to focus your efforts on the right part of the brain. So these 27 elements here about values, behaviors, and climate, okay? But if I go to the global chart, you will see here the spider. That is very interesting because we can see here comparing the today's data, which is the red one, with the blue one is the previous data. But we can compare, okay, is evolving good or not? So I could download this image so to have the ability to compare. And I compare, and now I have two new data. I go to the PowerPoint. I think you are seeing also my PowerPoint, that's fine. And I can, yes, this one and this one. So on the left side is 2018, and on the right side is the 2019. We can see we are evolving great. So because here the gap was very, very high, and now it's shorter. We are evolving great. Okay. That is, we can see it in a spider or in bars. This the same data in different format, and we can see in factors, blocks, or elements. So, and we can go to the ranking, which is a very nice tool here also, which is showing about you can see here a lot of the evolution we have in the elements 2019, 2020, and you can see here the ranking. You can see that, for example, the element capabilities improve 11 positions, 11 positions. So we are doing, I don't know which are the action plans they did, but we can definitely state that they improve, and the impact they have, what they did, they have a great impact in the capabilities for success. So, okay, we can see that here grit trust went down. Then maybe this organization, I will deduct that this organization make more emphasis into the rational activities, for example, creativity workshops, hackathons, etc., instead to focus on coaching, on teaching the leaders, okay, on increasing the capabilities. Okay, you can analyze here a lot of the data. You can show all, or you can filter by the top 10 to focus, or the bottom 10, how they evolve. And of course, you can order in short in one form, whatever you want. The average, do you want the highest average? Let's see here. You see, oh my God, the access to experts increased 27 positions. Yeah, maybe they organize some workshops and ask the experts, the external experts, to share the visit card. Now everyone is friend of this expert in LinkedIn, and it has access, and they feel better. So they are getting better results because the expert is sharing the knowledge. Okay, that is a very fast presentation about the new tool, the new module, which is, you can see here below. And you will see, always you will see here on the left and the right side of the screen, this is for the full screen, to focus on the data you have in front of you. And that is the famous and very well known button for download the image I have in front of my screen. So, but here we have two new clicks, which is the error range. How is the margin of error evolving? And we can now make the screen shorter. So, oh my God, we are improving. We are getting better and better. So, but maybe finance and sales, they need some push from someone to participate much more, or logistics, okay? And here you can see here the evolution chart, okay? We can focus, and you can see here all the data about the evolution. And of course, maybe this data, it would be important, and we can see the purchasing. If I go, for example, very interesting from this company is that if I go to categories, look at, for example, and if for us, as you know, innovation is the consequence of the culture. And culture is the reflect of, is the mirror, is the oasis of the leaders. If leaders are not very good in quality, they cannot expect that the culture in the organization is focusing on becoming a champion on quality, and the same on innovation, of course. And in this case, I will say in recommendations, for example, I would recommend that they have to pay attention with leaders, because look at in the previous edition, they participate in 81.82%. And in this edition, they participate less. That is based on the increase, the directors change upgrade from 11 to 14. And in the previous edition, participate 9 from 11, and in this edition, 8 of 14. So if managers are not the reference, the example for others, they will not change anything. Okay, then we could download this image and increase in the PowerPoint and include into the PowerPoint, so that in our presentation to the board, we recommend activate, stimulate, engage into the process to the directors. And so, but we cannot see the same from management committee. They are full engaged. So these two buttons are here. They are new buttons that we don't have in the past, and are showing the, oops, what's going on now? Here. Now is a demo effect. Okay. Okay, doc. And that's all. Then I show you the evolution. I show you the global data, so we can compare this edition with the previous edition, or we can choose other editions. I show you the departments. By default, if the departments doesn't change the name, they compare 1-to-1. But if the program detects the departments they change it, then they will be empty, and you will have to choose by your own. So you have to then choose one by one. Okay, that happened many times, that companies change the names of department or merge departments, etc. So no problem. That is what we saw by layers, by categories, and the rest of the metadata, which is what you know already, the participations by age, or the gender, or the educational. And of course, then the assessment, the global tables. Many organizations prefer the global tables, and I prefer, of course, the spider. For me, it's more visual, it's much easier to compare. And don't forget that if you put on the point, you will get the value, which is all on the point, on the bullet. Okay, and here you can choose the comparison by metadata. That is a very powerful, that is very empty, because you have 6 selection buttons. And of course, we cannot present you one default screen. So we present this screen with the choose button, so that you can define what do you want to compare. Elements is by default. I want to compare education. I want to choose, for example, others, because they are usually higher degree of curiosity, imagination, and creativity. Let's compare with the postdoctorates, and I want in a spider or in bars. Okay, let's see, you can see here. And was the same or different in the previous edition? Let's see. Oh my God, it's quite different. Okay. And so we could download any image or data and create the presentation, and that is the new tool. I have nothing more to present. A pleasure.
Thank you, Fran. I think that it's been a very comprehensive presentation, and we can see the unlimited possibilities of the evolution. Now we have our Q&A session. If there is anybody who wants to ask directly to Fran, you can open your mix and let us know your questions. Otherwise, I have some questions that we already received, and I would like to share them with you. Anyone?
Any question from Hungary?
Yes.
Akos, you cannot disappoint me. You cannot disappoint me.
Let me introduce myself because not everyone knows me. So Akos from Budapest, together with two colleagues from Human Telex Consulting, a new partner. So when I listened to Jay saying that we've been working for a decade, obviously is not exactly us, but we are trying to catch up soon. Okay.
Yes.
What I have two questions of what we have heard so far, and one is that I find this extremely exciting, how exciting you can get about the data of an imaginary company front, because it's all made up, obviously, because it's a demo. But as a matter of fact, that is the question also. To the some of the symptoms you have shown here on a demo case, you have done a lot of surveys so far. So how do they compare with real life stories?
Yeah. As usually, you fascinate me with good questions, deep and very interesting questions. So you are already familiar with gorilla, chimp, and monkeys, the analogies we make. Gorillas usually focus on the left part of the brains. They focus on tools, concept, methods, and tools. Small companies, they focus on create. When you set up your own company, the first day, the culture of the company is your personality. When you grow, you put their processes, you put their resources, you create departments, etc. But at the beginning of the beginning, you are alone or you are with 2 or 3 people. So in the real cases, what we are alive in is very large organizations. They focus on the left, and when they make the next edition, in the right part of the brain, so in the emotional part, the values will go down. So worse, they become worse. So they move from 370 to 280 or something like that. And in small companies is the opposite. They move from the right part of the brain, and suddenly the other are consequence. We have, I will say that so far in this moment, I remember just one exception, which is Bancolombia. Bancolombia is focusing on, it's a very large bank in several countries in Latin America. They are doing the survey more than once a year. And they are so focused on the emotions of the people, and they are getting incredible success. But there are exceptions. Usually the large organizations, they focus on design thinking methodologies, also concept, methods, and tools. They are popular. People are happy being certified on that, but the emotional going down. So this moving. A company like the demo, so it's a demo, but it's based on real data. The problem is that to anonymize real data company is very complicated. So what we do is multiply by factors the data available. So and that make a lot of changes. So Anna, which is responsible for this area, becomes crazy each time I ask for a demo company, because oh my God, how to do that? And it's no way to get a large company and take away data, or take a small company and create a larger or different one. But in fact, it's based on real data. So I answered your question, Akos?
Yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, large companies are very tough. That is why I always share that innovation should be below the umbrella of human resources, because it's people in action. It's people in action, but it's very hard in large organizations. Human resources are many times not in the board. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the other question, Akos, because you mentioned two.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Certainly, when I'm next time in the region, I'm going to visit Bancolombia. You got me interested. The other one was actually before you started talking about the evolution, I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, but you referred to in difficult times, creativity is all important because all the data is for the past. And okay, so we create future scenarios which are uncertain. Okay, we create, but do you call future scenario numbers or whatever's data? That I'm not sure if I understood correctly.
Yeah.
But you said we need the creative mind to create data. So
yeah.
Can you just elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that is in fact, I am thinking, I'm doubting if I should write a book about that, because it's so powerful, these concepts, and so many people are asking me to talk or go deeper into that, that maybe we can write the book together. So the concept is,
for the moment, I'm taking notes only. Okay, so go ahead.
the idea, everything starts when I heard an interview to Clayton Christensen in Harvard 2 years ago. No, last year, in November last year, so shortly before he dies. And he mentioned this concept about all data we have is about the past. We don't have any data about the future. And that's bring to inside myself and say, oh my God, then how to generate data. And I cross with another theory, which is from the 80s, which is the interactive strategies, the interactive logics, sorry. And Jay and myself, in the first book, we wrote about creative strategies. So if we cross interactive logic, creative strategics, and no data but the future, how to generate data? And the thing is the cross one concept, which is think big, act small. What means that? If you think big, how could we solve this issue? How could we satisfy this need? And act small is make slices from this large concept, make a lot of slices to make small steps. Each steps will generate you data and will validate or not your hypothesis. And each time you make one step, you should convert this data, this result, this outcome into value. For example, we are helping companies right now doing these very small steps to validate the medium large range strategies or some organizations to survive. So interactive logic is, I forget the data, I create an hypothesis. What should I do first to get few data that indicate me, am I in the right way or not in the right way? Should I shift? Okay, and that is. Did I answer?
I'm not yet writing the book yet, but I think, yes, thank you very much.
No problem. No, that in fact, if you analyze this very well known think big, act small, is that. What means act small? Why act small? Because you have no certainty about the future. Don't act big, because if you are innovating, if you act big, you have no certainty. You have many points to fail. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Fran. I'll share with you some of the questions I received. Okay, so the first one is, it goes like this. Under current uncertainty times, is it recommended to run for the first time or run again the IQ assessment? Or is it better to wait until we return back to normality?
So we are here in a short team. So it was the purpose to create this event for China, etc. Chinese people ask for a different day because it is too late for them, etc. So we can answer the question together. Akos, Levi, Andy, what do you think? Is the right moment to run the survey? Go ahead.
I would run the survey anytime, because that's reality. That's the given time. There's no one to say what to wait for. We don't know what's coming. So at its best, what we want to do is understand our presence. So yes.
Andy?
I think why not?
Yeah, what is a very good reaction is what is the worst could happen if we run the survey? So Katalin, what do you think? You are mute. This now.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we can't say too big thing for the future, but we can understand the present and we can make little good steps.
Okay. And why do you think companies are so reluctant to run this kind of surveys right now? Why?
I suppose. Sorry.
Because we have to move.
They have to
Move.
Well, in fact, always, not right now in crisis, always, if you don't move, you are moving. Because around you, the things are moving. And if you are standing, when you want to jump, there's no land in front of you. Okay. One question I make to customers or in people who is interested about, and they are reluctant to jump into assess the culture, is about the data. My conclusion and reflection is that they don't move because they think with the predictive logic. So I have data, I analyze data, I create action plans, that is predictive logic. I can manage this situation. But in these moments, crisis just speed up the change. Doesn't create new changes, speed up the change. So the data you have is not valid, it's changing every day. So the only one thing you can manage is uncertainty. How to manage uncertainty? Observing, detecting the trends, and stimulating your culture to present risk, opportunities, needs, and act. That's the only one. And when I question them, the managers, in which data are you supporting your decision to don't know your culture? They have no answers, usually. On which data are you supporting the decision to don't know your culture better? And when they are in silence because they have no answers, I make the second question. And in which data are you basing your today's decisions? As I mentioned in my introduction, many organizations are moving the events they are organizing for customers, employees, etc., to a new data. For example, Mobile World Congress in Barcelona moved from February to end of June. And my question to the general manager of the Mobile World Congress was, Carlos, which is the guarantee that at the end of June you can organize this event? There's no data. You see? Why not to convert the event as the future will be like the present? You see? Okay. I don't know if there are more questions. Sorry.
Yes, I have another one. In these times of home working, what is culture and how does it impact our organizations?
Well, culture, organizational culture, I guess is the question. No? Organizational culture is the combination of personalities together with Jay's mentioned, which is processes and projects. Processes and projects is what link people. Okay? Today, the only one thing we don't have is human contact, which is not less, but we don't have this. But we have processes and projects. That is why in this moment it's so important to measure your culture. Overall, the right part, which is your emotional, because you can measure the left part through many, many ways: efficiency, productivity, return of value, etc. You can measure, but on the right part, you cannot measure so easily. So that is why in this moment of home working, you can reinforce culture, assessing these 54 elements, but mostly the 27 on the right. So,
Okay, Fran.
we have 3 minutes left. Andy, Victor, Levi. How should I refer to you, Catalin or Levi?
You have to make of
Catalin.
Catalin.
My family name.
Okay. And Akos, any other question? Any Andy, Victor? No?
I wrote a question. Can we compare 4 or 5 or more years in same time or only in pairs?
I must say that I love simplicity. Engineers, IT programmers present an idea to compare several. And I say no. I want to give the hacks one by one.
Okay.
Because if I compare 5 years, what I have is a mess of data. And mass of data fascinate finance people. But to make decisions, I prefer, so that was my decision, it's my fault. Any other question you have? No? Dan, thank you for your participation, friends from Hungary. Yes, you are not a decade, but I have the feeling we will celebrate a decade at least together. It will be a pleasure. And it will be, I am in a company with one Hungarian from Budapest in the company. When this person, Sophia, knew that we are working together, we are starting to have this relation, she made me the offer, once you go to Budapest, I make you a road list to visit the places. But they think, well, maybe they want to show me different things, but we'll see. Hopefully the time to travel and meet each other and drink a glass of wine together is near and near every day, so it will be a pleasure.
Hungary is a nice country and Budapest is a nice place, but if you come to Budapest, we promise you we will make you work.
Yeah, but of course we will make our time valuable and worth, but don't forget that I get always, when I travel to nice places, I get always 1 or 2 days for myself, so to walk around and visit. And life is too short to just say. So when somebody says, do you travel a lot? Yeah, but I live the places a lot because I like. Okay, that we have few seconds. I would want to share with you one. I don't know if you were in the presentation of InnoQuotient online. You were, yeah, already.
Kati were.
Then, Luz Angela, could you close? I think the video of
yes. Okay.
Polilla. What is going
Yes.
on now? And we close the event.
Yes. Here we have our masterpiece. Besides, designed by France's sons, which are so creative and innovative, and they surprise us this year with this very, very nice and very funny idea. Okay,
And
so here we go with the Polilla, we call
and
it.
it's available. If you want to use it, you can use it as yours.
Also, yeah. So thank you again. It's been such a pleasure. being with you, and we hope that we can share these gatherings with some regularity over the time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Carlos, please,
Bye.
let's go ahead.
Hi, I'm Polia. What, you don't know InnoQuotient? If you want to encourage an innovative culture, InnoQuotient is the best tool to assess the culture of innovation in your organization. Wait. I'll explain more. First, enroll your associates to take the InnoQuotient survey. Once they have completed it, check your results. These innovation culture metrics will help you to define efficient action plans. But don't get overwhelmed with so much data. You can focus either by blocks, factors, or elements. You can also see the results for the whole organization or department or region in particular. InnoQuotient compares the results between departments, categories, and other segments too. Hey, and if you want to have a better view, you can go to the full screen or download it as an image. But that's not everything. If you want to know more, please contact us.
And it's available for you if you want to use it. Let us know when we pass the video. The voice of the lady is the oldest girl from J, is Maya. So it was a teamwork of our sons. Okay, thank you very much.
So
have a nice day.
And happy rest of the week, okay? Bye.
Thank you very much. And pass the video, obviously. Yes.
For sure.
Good. Luzangela, you passed them?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you very much. Bye then.
Okay,
Wonderful
bye.
day.
Thank you.